Function f is defined by the equation f of x equals 7x plus 2. So this is my function, and it's asking us to find f of x if x is 4. What do you think we have to do with that? 4. What'd you say? Yep, put it in there. Substitute it in. So we're going to do 7 times 4 plus 2. Go ahead, type that, well, if you need to. See what you get when you do that. 7 times 4 plus 2. So they wanted us to do a substitution. Put this value in for x. So 7 times 4 is 28. And 28 plus 2 is 30. Any questions about our Bell work? All right, so today we're going to talk about perimeter and multiplying. So in your notes, go to page 12. And if you don't remember what the definition of perimeter is, I wrote it on the board. Feel free to write that in your notes. But if it's asking you for perimeter, that's addition. And you have to add all 4 sides. So I'm skipping over a few. So I went to part B. Part B is the pumpkins. So this is the pumpkin patch right here. I'm going to go ahead and just draw that rectangle. They told us that this side is 5x minus 2. And they told us the bottom side is 5x plus 2. Now, the length is the same on opposite sides for this field. So that means that the 5x plus 2 that I put at the bottom, I can also write that on the top. And the 5x minus 2 that I put on the left, I can also write that on the right. So we're adding up all 4 sides. So I'm going to just line them up. So I have 5x plus 2 twice, 5x minus 2 twice. All my like terms are lined up, and we just add them. And that will tell us the perimeter. Keyword is perimeter. Tomorrow we're going to talk about area. But for perimeter, it's addition. So go ahead and see what you will get. Anybody want to share their answer? What they get? 15x, 20x minus 0. Yep. Or you could just say 20x or 20x minus 0. And that is our answer. That is our perimeter. Perimeter equals. All right, let's see where we're going next in our little field. The potatoes. Okay, here's our potatoes. Just gonna redraw it. So it said this side is x squared minus 7x plus 12, which means I can also write that here. And then the x plus 6 is also here. So you don't have to rewrite it going around. You can also just make your diagram and just start adding it around the figure. It's whichever way you think would work best for you, but I am going to line it up. So I have x squared minus 7x plus 12 twice. And I have x plus 6 twice. Notice that I'm lining up the like terms. So my x squareds are lined up, all of my x to the first powers. These are all my like terms. They're added up to get, they're on the same column. And then all my constant numbers are on the same column. And all of my x squareds. And the number, the invisible number in front of the x is 1. All right, so take a moment and just add up going down the columns. Take 12 plus 12 plus 6 plus 6, see what you get. And then you have negative 7 plus negative 7 plus 1, see what you get. And then 1 plus 1. So 12 plus 12 plus 6 plus 6 is 36. Who got 36? And it's positive, so I'm going to put a plus in front of it. And then negative 7 plus negative 7 plus 1 is negative 12x. And then 1 plus 1 is 2x squared. That is my perimeter for the potatoes. Questions, comments about how to find perimeter? Remember again, perimeter, you add all 4 sides. All right, let's do one more perimeter question and then we'll move on to multiplication. So this time they didn't give us a diagram. They just said it's a rectangle. One length is 3x squared minus 2x minus 4. So I'm going to write that out to the side. Remember, you have to write it twice. Line up your like terms. And then so the length is 3x squared minus 2x minus 4. Perimeter, add. The width is 2x squared plus x plus 5. Write that twice. And then just add going down. So there is an invisible 1 right in front of both of those x's. So you're adding down each column and see what you get for the perimeter of this rectangle. Okay, so this first column, and I'm doing it in my mind, so make sure you all correct me if I'm wrong, but I got a positive 2. Anybody else get a positive 2? Nobody got positive 2? Okay, I was about to say, like, oh no. All right, and then for the next one, I get negative 2, negative 2x. Okay. And for the last one, 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10x squared. That would be my perimeter. Any questions about perimeter? I think the main thing is, I'm trying to remember what the mistakes were last year on this test, and it was not forgetting that you need to double each side. So every side you have to write it twice. Now we could multiply it by 2 and then add it, but I think we could just write it twice and just add. All right. So let's go to page 13. Let's review multiplication. Multiplication. We're going to make boxes. Go ahead and make your box. It's a 2 by 2. Fill in all 4 squares. Multiply x plus 4 times x plus 5. You okay, Charles? You need to go to the nurse? Okay. So fill in the boxes and see what you get. So we're multiplying x times x to get x squared. 4 times x is 4x. Five times x is 5x. And 4 times 5 is 20. Now we do have like terms. These are my like terms. So my final answer would be x squared plus 9x plus 20. It's kind of like we're doing the opposite of what we would do if we were factoring. If we were factoring, we would put the 20 here and the x squared here and find our numbers that multiply to 20. So multiplication is the opposite of factoring. Factoring, we're taking it apart. Multiplication, we're putting it together. All right, go ahead and make a box. Fill this one out. Fill in all 4 squares and combine your like terms. So you multiply, fill in all 4 squares, and then you look for your like terms and add them together. So 2x times 3x, 6x squared. 3x times 10 is 30x. 2x times 8 is 16x, and 8 times 10 is 80. Again, my like terms. So my final answer would be 6x squared plus 46x plus 80. And that would be my answer. Any questions? Okay, just a few more. So now we have a different. Now you could make a box, okay? There's nothing wrong with making a box. But because there's just one term, a lot of times we'll just distribute. But if you were to make a box, it would be a 1 by 3 box. So basically, you're taking the 2x times x cubed minus 7x plus 11. But that's the same as just distributing. So 2x times x cubed would be 2x to the 4th. 2x times negative 7x would be negative 14x squared. And 11 times 2x is 22x. None of these are like terms, so that would just be my final answer. What happened? Oh, okay. So, good question. Because you're adding your exponents, so whenever you multiply, I have to add the 1 plus 3, and that's how you get a 4. In the second box, I'm adding 1 plus 1, which is how I got 2. So when you multiply, and that's a good question, when you multiply, you are adding the exponents. That's only if they're like the same variable. So x times x would be x squared. All right. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. This time I'm going to just distribute though. Now remember, you're multiplying numbers and adding the exponents. You got one more after this. Multiply numbers. Add exponents. So when I take 3 times 2, I get 6. But I'm adding the 2b squared and b to the third, so that would be 5. So that gives me 5. And then when I multiply my next one, hold on, let me just do this one arrow at a time. So that was my first one. So now I'm going to do the second one. I'm going to multiply these two. So that would be 3 times negative 1. That's negative 3. And now I'm adding together b squared and b squared, and I get b to the 4th. And now you're going to multiply 3 times 4, 3b squared times 4b. Well, that would be 12, b to the power of 3. And then lastly, I'm multiplying 3b squared times negative 1. That would be negative 3b squared. And our last question is E. Go ahead and turn to E. Or let's look at E. So this is a really common mistake. A lot of times this is what people will do, but that is not how you square a binomial. This means a minus 7 times a minus 7. So I want you to go ahead and make a box. Fill in all 4 squares, combine your like terms. And that would be your answer. Any questions about multiplying? All right, let's take out homework 3. So everybody take out homework 3. Charles, take out homework 3. Everybody take out your homework 3. Homework 3 is due Thursday. So let me go all the way to homework 3. So we did number 1 together. So now you should be able to do 4 through, oh, these numbers are wrong. Oh no, I gotta fix that next year. All right, but 7, 8, 9, and 10. So remember, for number 9, that's a minus 5 times a minus 5. So you have to make a box for that. So I'll give you all a couple minutes to do that question. Everybody do number 9. So that gives you a squared minus 10a plus 25. And then also let's look at number 8 together. Just remember, when you distribute, you're multiplying the numbers but adding the exponent. So 4 times 2 is 8, but then I have to add x1 and x8. And 1 plus 8 is 9. Bring down the plus sign. 4 times 3 is 12. X times x is x squared. So you should be able to complete the entire front. Let me look at the back. We didn't do one like this in our notes. So let's do number 11 together. We need to make a box, but it needs to be a 2 by 3. So we have 6 squares to fill in. So we got x times x squared, and that was x cubed. X times 2x, 2x squared. X times 12, 12x. That's my first row. Now do your bottom row. Multiplying everything in that top row by 3. Then when we add our like terms, these are like terms because they're both x squared, and these are like terms. So my final answer would be x cubed plus 5, x squared plus 18x plus 36. All right, use this time to work on those questions. I'm also going to help you set up number 13B. Perimeter, remember that's adding. So you're going to have x minus 9, you write it twice. X plus 2, write that twice. For perimeter, you're adding. So you should be able to get quite a few of these done today. You should have the majority of homework 3 finished.